Hello everyone. Okay, here we are with the ultimate shootout. The Samsung Galaxy S3 versus the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. So, first of all, what do these two siblings have in common? Well, similar look and feel, very similar hardware specs, with the Galaxy Note 2 just being bumped in a few key areas. So first off, Samsung Galaxy S3, 4.8 inch screen, 5.5 on the Galaxy Note 2. Considerably more screen space. As you can see there, the S3 practically fits inside the screen size of the Note 2. The actual thickness, there's a slight difference, but it's purely about 1mm thicker on the Note 2 than on the S3. Not a lot of difference. Again, when you're holding the device in your hand, you can really kind of feel that the Galaxy Note 2 has a slight tapered edge, so it sits quite nicely into the hand, just as the S3 does as well. The camera is the same in both devices. Both feature a physical home button, although obviously on the Note 2, slightly bigger. And again, your various grills, slightly bigger again. Generally, everything on the Note 2 has been made a little bit bigger. Although, strangely, the power button hasn't been made very much bigger. Not by a lot. On the back of the device, things have been moved around slightly. On the S3, your speaker grill is up at the top here. On the Note 2, it's been moved down to the side. And the flashes have been moved to opposite sides of one another as well. And as you can see, the spacing is slightly different for the flash and between the flash and the camera. Now, personally, I've noticed that the Note 2, when using the flash, it's slightly more glare, as it were. You know, you get a colour cast a lot of the time from these LED bulbs. It's more pronounced on the Note 2 than it is on the S3. So for low light shooting, you may very well prefer the Samsung Galaxy S3 on this occasion. Processor-wise, you've got a 1.4 GHz quad-core processor within the S3, and a 1.6 in the Note 2. Performance-wise, you're not talking about a huge amount of difference. Although, physically, when you actually start playing games on it, the Note 2 feels just a little bit more fluid. You can just feel the frame rate's a little bit higher. And so certain titles that I've been playing, Real Racing 2 for instance, you can just feel the Note 2 is just a tiny bit faster. However, the Note 2 is a big device, and as I've said in my full review of the Note 2, you are going to have problems wearing certain types of trousers, certain jackets, depending on how you normally keep your phone in your pockets. You may find the Note 2 means you're going to have to change your wardrobe slightly, or it's certainly reconfigure and think about which jacket you're going to be wearing, because if your pockets aren't deep enough, this phone can tip out of them quite easily. Same with certain pairs of trousers. Personally, I'm favouring trousers now which have a zip on them. Other than that, the physical hardware is pretty much the muchness. If you like the look and feel of the Galaxy S3, then there's not a lot of difference here in the Note 2, other than the fact that it's bigger. Software-wise, both of these devices are running Jelly Bean, so not a lot that you can kind of compare there. If you're one of those people that's still waiting for the Jelly Bean update, don't kick yourself too hard. It's coming. It is fantastic, it's absolutely wonderful, but from a hardware perspective and what Ice Cream Sandwich offers versus Jelly Bean, there's not a huge amount in it. You're not suddenly going to find your games run 20 frames a second faster or anything like that. What you have is a few new features and a few extra opportunities to really make use of your device. A lot of the Jelly Bean coolness, as it were, is all software-led, and some of it's not really making a massive difference. It's how fast your various screens can redraw, for instance. It's nice, but it's not changing the underlying functionality of your phone that much. However, if you have now got Jelly Bean available on your S3, then honestly, you're not missing out much on the Note 2. With the Note 2, having this pen is a boon. It does allow you to write on the screen, draw and so on, and interact with the device in new ways. However, it doesn't detract away at all from the really, really nice fluid operating that you have on the Galaxy S3. And just as a few people have wondered, no, I'm afraid the pen doesn't work on the S3. A bit of a shame. You have to buy the special S3 S Pen for that functionality to work. But really, a lot of it comes down to what you're looking for in a device. Now, my personal feeling is that both phones are absolutely fantastic. They are literally leading their categories. Samsung Galaxy S3 has easily outsold the iPhone 5 during the same time period, Overall, the specs are substantially better than the iPhone 5. Bigger screen, NFC, longer running battery, you name it, we've got it here. Oh, and we still have Google Maps. Haha. On the Note 2, you're looking at a hardware bump, but not a massive hardware bump. You have NFC, you have a bigger screen. You also have a few new things you have to kind of deal with. It's a bigger device. New cases, etc. And you have the boon of the pen, if that is something that means something to you. But hang on, if you never would think about using a pen on a phone, well, why would you want to go for the Note 2? And this is my entire point. It's about personal choice. Both devices are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Pretty much the cutting edge right now, offering slightly different things and a slightly different environment. If you're a business user, or if you're someone that does a lot of art and design and you want to be able to draw on your screen, or if you want that kind of additional feedback mechanism that the pen gives you, then you're going to want to go for the Note 2, if you can get past the size of it. However, if you just want a phenomenal all-round smartphone, then you're going to go for the S3. And if you're a gamer, well, maybe you're going to want the slightly bigger screen and the slight increase in frame rate. But it's not enough to say, oh well, I'm only going to go for the Note 2 because of that. Both devices are going to do you really, really well, and you're going to be chuffed whatever you've bought. My personal feeling, having both devices sat here, it's very difficult for me to pick a winner. I would personally say if you're looking for a great all-rounder, you want the S3. If you're looking for something unique, which tips the scales in just a few key areas, gaming for instance, the slightly bigger screen which is great for media playback, and crucially the S Pen, which is really the differentiator here, then you're going to go for the Note 2. But don't be upset if you've bought one of the devices and now you're thinking, oh, I should have bought the other one. Because actually, it doesn't matter. You have a cracking piece of equipment. Both phones, both devices, be it a smartphone or a phablet, as the Note 2 tends to be known, are phenomenal at what they do. Great all-rounders. Be proud, you have the best phones on the market.